How old is the Egyptian Great Sphinx of Giza? Well, the prevailing opinion, according to archaeological evidence, suggests that the monument was created around 2500 BC for the pharaoh Khafre. Khafre is credited with the creation of the second pyramid at Giza, the second tallest and second largest of the three. It serves as Khafre's tomb, but there remain questions as to the age of the Sphinx. The stones cut from around the Sphinx's body were used to construct a temple in front of it, but neither the enclosure nor the temple were ever completed. There is also a relative lack of Old Kingdom cultural material or evidence of a Sphinx cult at the time. Selim Hassan, the first native Egyptian to be appointed Professor of Egyptology at the University of Cairo, writing in 1949 on recent excavations of the Sphinx enclosure, sounded a cautionary note on the association of the monument with Khafre. He wrote, "Taking all things into consideration, it seems that we must give the credit of erecting this, the world's most wonderful statue, to Khafre, but always with this reservation, that there is not one single contemporary inscription which connects the Sphinx with Khafre. So sound as it may appear, we must treat the evidence as circumstantial, until such time as a lucky turn of the spade of the excavator will reveal to the world a definite reference to the erection of the Sphinx." But there are some who consider the association with Khafre to be incorrect, and they insist the lion-shaped Sphinx is associated with the age of Leo, and is therefore far older than mainstream academia asserts. One such theorist is the controversial writer and presenter of the Netflix series Ancient Apocalypse, Graham Hancock. In a recent lecture at the Royal Geographical Society in London, Mr. Hancock laid out his thought process.
I think what happened, just to cut to the chase, 12,500 years ago roughly, was that the base platforms on which the pyramids stand were created at that time, and other structures around the Giza plateau were created at that time. But the work of finishing off the pyramids was definitely done by the ancient Egyptians in the historic period. This is the subterranean chamber. It's beneath the Great Pyramid here, about 100 feet vertically beneath the base of the Great Pyramid. And I would suggest that that is the original sacred site of Giza, and everything else has been developed around that. That has to be during the age of Leo. The Sphinx is a lion-bodied monument. Its head was later recarved by the ancient Egyptians, but 12,500 years ago, in fact roughly between 12,800 and 11,600 years ago, the constellation of Leo rose in direct alignment with the gaze of the Great Sphinx. And furthermore, that's the time when the three belt stars cross the meridian due south in the pattern of the three great pyramids on the ground. It seems to me like an enormous dating enterprise trying to draw our attention to a time more than 12,000 years before our own. So there's the Great Sphinx, and in front of it the Sphinx Temple, to the left of it the Valley Temple, causeway. The Sphinx is supposed to, Egyptologists will tell you, it was the work of the pharaoh Khafre, the successor of Khufu. But there's almost no evidence for that. There's just a single syllable kaf on this so-called stela between the paws of the Sphinx, the so-called dream stela. It's not the same epoch that is signaled by the astronomy. To find a climate in Egypt that could have created this kind of weathering in the Sphinx enclosure. The Sphinx Temple, no inscriptions have survived. Then when we come to the Valley Temple, we have Edwards, a leading authority on ancient Egypt, saying in 1947, around each doorway is a band of hieroglyphic inscription giving the name and titles of the king. Now in 1993 he's changed that. It was called a band of hieroglyphic inscriptions giving the name and titles of the king, but only the last words, beloved of the goddess Bastet, are preserved. No other inscriptions. There's no inscriptions in either temple that say that Khafre had anything to do with building the Sphinx. And actually, if you look at this curiosity here, this is limestone and this is granite. They've actually cut the granite, these granite facing blocks, to fit the shape of the underlying heavily eroded limestone. And you can see more of that there. The suggestion is that this is an ancient temple. It's more than 12,000 years old. It was restored and renovated by the ancient Egyptians during the Old Kingdom.
So, what do you think? Is the Sphinx really more than 12,000 years old, or do you agree with the prevailing archaeological theories? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe. And you can also support the channel on Subscribestar via the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.